Hello and welcome to this session of Groundbreakers Live. I'm your host Javed Mohammed, and we're very honored to have with us Elena Sunshine, who is a Senior Principal Product Manager at Oracle. Elena, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, thanks for coming. So you're presenting at the Dev Live for AI and machine learning, and you have a session there, end-to-end machine learning lifecycle.
Yes, that's
So
right.
walk us through the ends.
Sure. So in this session, you will hear, well, I will introduce all of the concepts that are most important to using the data science service on OCI. And we will actually show you an end-to-end demo of how to use the product. So it's basically like a tutorial for data scientists of how to get started and perform a use case on OCI data science.
Okay, so what are some of the important concepts that people need to know? And again, I'm not going to have you repeat your whole
Absolutely.
presentation, but just give us a flavor.
Sure. So I'll introduce some of the major topics like how all of our data science assets are organized into projects. So what projects mean, and then we'll show you how to create a project. We then show you all about the model catalog, which is in the product in a project. You can have a model catalog to save and track all of your models. And then we'll show you how to create a notebook session, which is a development environment for data scientists with a Jupyter Lab interface where data scientists can write and execute Python code, use various open source machine learning libraries to basically choose their favorite framework to create their own custom models. And
Can I just
go
pause you
ahead.
there? Because my
Yeah.
mind is, you've gone way ahead, and I was just thinking of the word model catalog. So is this, as the name suggests, that to build a model, there's like different templates or whatever, or different categories that you pick based upon your application or use case, or can you explain that?
Yeah, so the way that a data scientist will build a model is this will be a very familiar, to a seasoned data scientist, will be a very familiar flow. So, Service provides a development environment for writing Python code. Jupyter Lab, it's an open source tool that many data scientists are very familiar with, having probably studied it in their schooling and their training to become a data scientist. So within that environment, there are many different frameworks that a data scientist will be familiar with for how to do their model development and train a model. So examples of that, some of them are called like scikit-learn is one, there's XGBoost, there's TensorFlow, there's Keras. There's a bunch of these different techniques. And within these frameworks, there's a selection of algorithms. So depending on their data set and the problem that they're trying to solve, they will choose the proper framework that they're familiar with, that they want to use for this problem. They will choose the proper algorithm to actually solve that problem, train a model, and that will output a model artifact that we save within the model catalog. And that model catalog really helps data scientists on teams to access each other's work, to reproduce each other's work, to understand where this model came from, to track it basically and audit where that model came from, so that when models actually go into production, you can essentially lower your risk around those models. So models in production will eventually fail. They'll eventually decrease in quality. And a team of data scientists needs to be prepared to be able to step in and retrain that model and redeploy that model in production so that it can stay healthy over time.
Wow, this almost sounds like a resuscitating a patient.
Yes, something like that.
All right. Well, it sounds like a really exciting presentation. I have to ask you one question, and this is not something that necessarily obviously you're covering in your presentation, but again, to me, it's always interesting talking to someone who has this kind of an expertise in data science and everything. Because I know we've been hearing about AI and machine learning for a while. And we hear about how it's, for example, used in fraud detection or in face detection in Facebook and things like that. Where do you feel we are in terms of how pervasive AI machine learning is from in terms of the world that we live in? Are we still kind of very much in the early stages somewhere? Just kind of get your take on it.
Yeah, absolutely. My take is that well, you can look around your home right now, look around the devices that you use and the technology that you use today, and you see it everywhere from your credit card company to your, so obviously social media to your streaming services. It's used by government institutions. It's used by private institutions. So it is definitely pervasive. I mean, you can just see it in your own life. If you have Amazon Alexa or you've got your Echo
Mhm,
out there, then you are using it every day. Speech recognition, for example.
mhm,
So it is super common and super pervasive. It's only going to become more pervasive. So today there's this notion that some companies are sort of AI companies. Um, it's kind of like back when the internet was getting started, and there were some companies that were internet companies. Well, today, every company is an internet company. Every
uh-huh,
company has an internet presence.
yeah,
And I see the same thing happening in the AI space where every company will have some kind of AI embedded within their product or within their operational uh, programs to improve
mhm.
their operations, maintain cost effectiveness, provide better customer experiences, or create new products around AI. And it's just, it will be pervasive in our life as the internet is in that way.
A very good comparison because I don't, this is probably obviously before your time, but it was like the dot-com days, and it's so it is
Believe it or
what
not, I was there for that.
well, Elena, it sounds like a really exciting presentation. You got some great insights, and we encourage all the folks out there to check it out. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time today.
Absolutely.